Possible Nigeria right here on Obidati Family Television. This program is a program where we get to look into some of the issues concerning Nigerians and solutions that have been raised in Mr. Peter Obi and Yusuf Datibaba Ahmed's manifesto. So we're going to be taking one of those items like we've always done and do a little bit of dissecting today on the show. My name is King Kamsi, and you know I don't do this show alone. I have one of the most amazing co-hosts who sits at my left hand, and we do the dissecting together. Good morning, Chuks. How are you doing?
Good morning, King Kamsi. How was your weekend?
The weekend was fine, but we left the weekend. We left the weekend days ago.
And we're racing down the weekend for the election.
Definitely.
On Saturday.
It's just a few days.
Yeah, just few days. I think barely 4 days from today.
Yeah, about 4 days. And it's just amazing how I can remember when we're counting down in 100 days, down to the 50 days.
20.
And now we're just in, one figure days now.
And so a few days will be hours from the election.
True.
Yeah, today we're discussing oil theft. I think if you ask me, the biggest issue we have in Nigeria, oil theft, since we discovered oil in 1956, and then started what would I put it? Started allowing it to be taped, And I think there's a record that Nigerians have lost. We lose about 700,000 barrels of oil daily. NNPC confirmed 470 barrels, and that amounts to almost $700 million a week. And if you add it, I think we've lost more money to oil theft than we've made as a country in our revenue that we get from oil. So it's a very serious problem, if you ask me.
Very serious problem it is indeed, and a lot of Nigerians have raised concerns about this. And I know our principal, Mr. Peter Obi, has constantly spoken about how oil cannot be stolen because it's not sweet. It takes a whole lot to get oil from the ground and push it out before the refining and all of that gets into process. So right now, today we're going to be doing this discussion extensively, and we have a very wonderful guest who's going to be joining us on the show today. He is one person who believes so much in the Obidati movement, and he is constantly giving his voice to it. I have the chairman of the Northern Assembly of Grassroots Mobilizers, and he's joining us all the way from Kano State. No other person than Sheriff Suleiman Dauda. Sheriff, you're welcome. Good morning.
I'm happy to be here with you this morning.
And it's also wonderful that you joined us this morning. Thank you for bringing out time from your busy schedule to discuss and aid us with your voice in the Obidati movement. So today we're going to start off with the basic topic we already aligned for today before we move into other matters of interest, as we have just a few days to the election. We're discussing oil theft in Nigeria today, and we've constantly seen what Nigeria has become because of oil, and how repeatedly we've heard about how Nigerians have always discovered pipelines being vandalized and how illegal refineries have been operated, even down to the most recent one that was found somewhere in the deep sea, where there was a pipeline connected from one of our stations down to the deep sea. So it's a robust topic, and I want you to just give your own angle and your objectives towards that, and what you think Mr. Peter Obi will do differently if he emerges, or when he emerges the president of Nigeria, and concerning oil thefts.
Okay, thank you, Tim, for that question. I think oil theft in Nigeria is a problem that every Nigerian should be concerned about because, as we all know, we all depend on this oil to survive. Although, of course, we are practicing what the economists are saying in the economy, part of the economy. That's what we are practicing in Nigeria. But unfortunately, around the industry, it's very, very unfortunate. And the bottom line of the problem is bad leadership, because all what brings this theft and whatever is bad leadership. People are somehow aggrieved of what is happening around them. So this is what led them to all this theft and everything. And if you look at the rate at which Nigeria is losing a huge amount of money due to this theft. I think it is something that we must be concerned about it. All in Nigeria, I think it cost Nigeria about $2 billion from January. I think from the latest report I got, if I'm very sure of it, we lost about $2 billion from January to August 2022 as of last year. So just look at the huge amount of money Nigeria lost, this in this situation. If you're talking about this theft, I think it is the failure of the government that give rise to all these things. We know who these people are. There are so many things and ways they could follow to bring to tame this problem. One of it is, if I could remember, the former administration of Musa when he, sat down with the Niger Delta militants, to give them amnesty and so on, just to understand, their grievances of what is happening. But currently, as we are speaking, the oil industry is suffering from so many problems, which if we continue like that, will end up, not knowing what we depend on, because what we solemnly depend on, it has already been stolen by so many individuals, which I think is very, very devastating. So I think from my own view and from what we understand with Mr. Peter Obi, when he comes into government, he said that he will sit down with this militants or maybe people that are aggrieved in so many parts of the country, from the south, from the north, all this unrest, kidnappings, stealing and whatever, it's all about bad leadership. So, and when you have a concrete leadership, a solid leadership that will sit down and understand people, listen to people, I think the problem will come to pass. I think that is my take about this whole problem, and I think, and I'm very, very optimistic that when our principal comes in, he will have a solid solution to this problem.
Okay, Sheriff, that's a very robust contribution. But let's look at things in this dynamic right now. It's very few days to the election. Very, very few days to the election. We're speaking less than 4 days already to the election. And Nigerians are really concerned. A lot of people have raised concern about Mr. Peter Obi not being a popular candidate in the North. And I believe you're one of those people who have taken the message of Peter Obi far and wide, especially in Kano State. So could you throw more light on that? How true is that statement? And tell us more about the acceptability in the North, how you've been able to sell Labour Party to intended voters there in Kano State, and how that is going as well. Just give us a quick wrap on that.
Okay, Kemsi, thank you for that. In politics, you should expect so many things from the opposition. But as we speak now for this election, for someone to come and tell you that Mr. Toby is not known and accepted in the North, he's just saying it for saying sake. Let me just give you a quick example. If you look at our rallies that happen in the northern states, especially the northwestern states, which is the core north, you will believe me that the message is well received, and taken, because since when northerners are very, very wise when it comes to media, especially the local media, which is the radio. So months ago there was a rumor that is going around that Mr. Peter Obi is in talks with the NMPP candidate, which is Ejira Grabi Mustafa. So that news, gone very, very wide in the northern local media. So from then, people understand, yes, there's a popular candidate from the southern part of the country in person of Mr. Peter Obi. So from then, so many people started to know who is Mr. Peter Obi themselves. And of course, from our end, especially my support group, which is Northern Assembly Movement, we use the local media as well, to take this message. We have a local program that we used to air each and every Saturday, especially in Kanu. The name of the program is Tudu Multida, and that Tudu Multida is a 30-minute program that is anchored by a popular uncle here in Kanu, promoting, explaining to people, debunking all the rumors attached to Mr. Peter Obi, and so many things. So if you look at our rallies, you will know that the message of Mr. Peter Obi is well received in the North. And as I'm telling you now, here in Kanu, if I'll give you an example, the message of Mr. Peter Obi everywhere in the whole portfolio of the government. We have structures from the ward, local government to the senatorial level, and of course to the state level. So this is a very, very important ladder we built in order to give Mr. Peter Obi the required percentage. We understand that Kanu is not our stronghold, but we make it very, very possible for us to get this percentage that we are looking for to win this election. Because if you look at the dynamics of the politics, everybody is tired. So everybody is looking for an alternative. For you to come and say you vote for APC or PDP, people will just be looking at you as as someone that is that doesn't have human feelings at all. So we use this opportunity to explain to people, look, this is not about religion, this is not about tribe, this is about competency, this is about character and track record. And this man, this is what he did in Anambra State, and people are happy and people have accepted. And in 4 days' time, we will show them at the ballot boxes that yes, the message of Mr. Peter Obi is well received in the North. And of course, people are ready to start with Mr. Peter Obi on this mandate. And inshallah, we are going to give them the shock of their life.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Sheriff, quite a number of things you said there. But let's also look at the factor that people have also always talked about, the Kwankwasia movement and Dr. Rabi Musa Kwankwaso, who used to be a governor of Kano State. And obviously, we've seen his track record, also has an amazing track record there in Kano State, did a lot while he was Kano State governor. And there's also been conversations about how he might be leading the poll in Kano State and not leaving a space for every other candidate to be accepted there in Kano State. Could you just react to that quickly so we can move to the next question?
Yes, Kamsi, in general, we must appreciate the fact that yes, he has the qualities of a leader. And of course, if you're talking about Kanu, not even Kanu, but in the whole northern Nigeria, I don't think there's a political gladiator that is still standing like Engineer Ibrahim because his movement is like maybe a cold beans movement, which is the red cap movement. So this is a very powerful movement, and of course, here in Kanu, we might give him that chance because in politics you must accept where you have stronghold and where you don't have stronghold. And we know that everybody knows, even the PDP and APC knows that Kanu, you must give Kwankwaso that place because he is from there. The people have seen what he has done in Kanu. So I think we must give him that credit, So there's only a point of concern. Politics is about the number and percentage. If we get the percentage we get in Kanu, so we don't mind if he wins Kanu. So I don't think it's a problem to us. Thank you, Mr. Kelsey.
So you're authoritatively saying that Mr. Peter Obi and the Labour Party would get the stipulated 25% in Kano State.
Of course,
you're saying that with authority.
We have made the permutation and we know we are going to get it.
Okay, so I know for sure you're a grassroots mobilizer, and I want you to share with us some of those experiences that you've had while doing or going through the grassroots mobilization. I could tell that one of them could be introducing people to a new party that is not broom or umbrella. How was that? Tell us about it, the challenges and all of this being faced, and how the acceptability grew while you were being, stretching that information out to them.
Yes, in every political arena, you can see that there must be two powerful parties, and maybe the third one should be called the third force. But at this point in time, so many people, when we are mobilizing at the grassroots, people have lost hope in Nigeria. Because if you tell people to come out and vote, they'll say, okay, I can't vote PDP and I can't vote APC, so therefore I won't vote again because they're all the same. So we'll use this opportunity because you mentioned it yourself, then okay, there's a new party. And that party is this and that. Labour Party, we put them here in Hausa, so we explain to people that this party is a party for the family, it's a party for the benefit of Nigerians. And the candidate that is the contestant under this party is also a candidate. This is his trust.
Hello, Sheriff.
Because this is that. But the situation we found ourselves.
We lost your audio at some point. Okay. I think the reception is kind of bad, but let's quickly look at it. Chuks, I think I love what Sheriff has been trying to state and put out there, making people understand that Mr. Peter Obi is not just any other candidate in the North, but a very popular one at that. And I love the fact that he was able to beat his chest and say yes with assurance that Mr. Peter Obi is going to get the stipulated 25% that's been looked out for in Kano State.
Yeah, and it's very easy to see why that is so. Peter Obi has turned out to become a generally accepted image or personality in my regard, not just here in the country, even outside the country. And I think he has been able to break that tribal boundaries to a very great extent, and regional boundaries, if you put it that way. They have people in the north, just like what's his name again?
Just like Sheriff.
Yeah, Sheriff. That are wielding their support around his candidacy, and it's not so difficult to know why that is so, or to understand why that is so. Peter Obi has proven to be the only person that understands Nigeria as a generality, Nigeria when it comes to as an entity with different tribe and all, and he has solutions to that, to our problems, and it's easy to choose him.
Okay, let's get Sheriff back now. Sheriff, sorry, I know
you lost me. If all this came in, so I have to hold the course. Yeah.
Okay, but we're about rounding up, so let's just take a final talks on that. Because right now, as a grassroots mobilizer, definitely we're looking at very few days to the election. What should be done differently in this final lap of the campaign? What should be done differently?
Okay. If you look at the several polls that came out recently, you'll understand that there are so many undecided voters, especially here in the north. Because as I was telling you, people have lost hope in this country. People are saying that they will not even come out to vote because they don't believe in Nigeria again. Because the suffering, all these things that are happening, people are very, very, very aggrieved about what is going on. So people are saying to vote is even a waste of time. So we thank God the traditional rulers, the religious leaders are calling people out to come out and vote in mass. Vote the candidate of your choice, and of course exercise your duty right for you to change the narrative of this country. I as an obedient, I will call on fellow obedience to continue what they are doing. This 4 days, you have only celebrated. You can even change someone's perspective or maybe motive in these 4 days. I'll continue campaigning, door-to-door campaign. This is what we are doing. Door-to-door campaign from house to house, radio stations and everything, educating people. This is not about religion. This is not about tribe. This is not about this my turn. This is not about this. This is not, it's about competence. Just looking we are. We must change this country. Me and you continue to campaign. Even on the polling units, so many undecided voters will come. They don't even know who to vote. Ask them, who are you voting? Okay, I don't know who to vote. Okay, this is the candidate I have for you. He has this, he has that, he have done this, he has done that. So, we have a lot of work these 4 days because as I'm speaking to you, my team currently are in one local government, which I can disclose here, having a woman sensitization. And we are 4 days to election, a grassroots mobilization, educating women on electoral matters, on how to vote, and the party they should vote and why they should vote for that party. So I think everybody should adhere to same. Okay, so at the end of the day, we are going to win this election. I think by landslide because from what we are getting from our permutations, and expectations, we are going to make it. Because Peter Obi is the leading candidate, so we don't have anything to fear. So I think that's what we should do in this many days. We call them the golden days here in the north. This is the golden days because you see so many news, so many propaganda, so many detections, so many things are happening within these days. So they are golden days.
Okay, Sheriff, okay. But a lot has been said, and definitely we're looking at the obedience to keep making the movement a widespread one and to keep it still be talked about at every single time. But there's been a news over there in Kano State about, I want you to react quickly to that because that's our final take, news about how structures are being collapsed right now in Kano State to form a structure for some other candidates, specifically on the report, the name of Dr. Rabi Musa Kwankwaso was mentioned there, and how the PDP structure there has also fallen, and also some part of the Labour Party structure fallen towards the side of the NNPP. Could you quickly react to that on the final note? Let's take wraps on that.
Okay. As I told you earlier, these days, you should expect everything that is going to come out, especially, but most of these things will be rumors. I can categorically tell you that I'm a neighbor to Engineer Dwayne Musa. From my family house to his house is just a trackable, distance. As you've made mention that Engineer Dwayne Musa's name is on that list, but I can tell you that it's just a rumor. Because I know that he won't step down for anybody, as a political gladiator, he won't step down for anybody. And this is what we want, because we want him to share the vote. He'll work for us, in a Polish way. So this is a very good idea for us. But of course, you have seen news going around that the governorship candidate of Kano from the Labour Party have switched out his allegiance to other party. This we expected this because if you look at the INEC portal, it's not even the original candidate. He has been impeached by the court. So, and we have already planned for that. We have pushed ahead since when we sense, his moves. So we have already planned it, and with or without him, we are going to win the required votes we want. So I think this is not something that we should bother about. With him or without him, we have already moved on. So, and in politics, you have to learn on how to move on, with or without people. So I think this is not a new thing. Obedience, we have already decided who to vote. So I think we don't expect anybody to tell us who to vote anymore. We are not in that era. that era has already passed. So I think all this switching from this party to this party at this time, it will cost us everything because we have already decided. We've made our mind already. We have the structures, we have the people. So I think there's nothing can affect us anymore. So and all that news, I think it's just rumor. As I'm in Kano, I don't even add about this news you just telling me, and I can categorically tell you it's a rumor. And we've seen we'll see what will happen in the next coming days. God willing.
Okay, Sheriff, thank you so much for joining us on this episode of A Possible Nigeria. We've discussed a whole lot of issues, and definitely there should be more to be discussed, but we're already out of time, and we have to make way for other programs that are coming up soon. Okay, but thank you so much, and these are the kind of discussions that we hope to have, even as we prepare in these golden days, like you made mention of, because these are golden days, and we're watching the race hit the final lap right now. A lot of Nigerians are with their PVCs and getting ready to exercise their franchise on the 25th of February. And we hope to see good news emanating from the Kano camp. Likewise, every other places or states in the north to make sure that we hit the 25% across states here, or 2/3 of the state, across 24 states in Nigeria. Okay, so thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us. From myself and my co-host, Chuks, Sheriff, we say thank you so much. Thank you for taking out time from your busy schedule. And that's the much we could take. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so that's the much we can take on Possible Nigeria today. It's been amazing. I've had a wonderful discussion with Sheriff Suleiman Dada, who is the chairman of the National Assembly for Grassroots Mobilizers there in Kano State, and he's taken, not an assembly rather, of grassroots mobilizers out there in Kano State, and he's doing the amazing work taking the Ubidati gospel and movement to the people of Kano State and even beyond Kano State. Okay, so Chuks, final words.
I think that was quite interesting to hear from Mr. Sheriff what they're doing over there in Kano, and of course assuring us of Kano's support for the Labour Party presidential candidate, Mr. Peter Obi. And this goes to say that we are ready, come 25th, to take over this country, take back this country. I mean, the youths of this country, we've sacrificed a lot, we've played a part. Even we in the studio here, we've been screaming Peter Obi and the credibility, you know, all this while. So I think 25th, we're going to see our efforts. And I hope, and I'm sure, our labor will not be in vain, like some people are hoping for.
Yes, definitely. It would be great. Okay, so guys, thank you so much for joining us on this particular episode of Possible Nigeria. Please make sure that you follow us on all our social media platforms. This will be That's Family TV, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram will be That's Family Television. And if you're one of those people who's preaching Peter Obi's gospel and you want to speak to us right here in the studio, our WhatsApp number is showing on the screen right now. All you need to do is just copy out the WhatsApp number, text us on WhatsApp, and we'll have quality discussion with you right here. Remember, it is few days to the election. Nigerians are ready to exercise their franchise. I hope you're ready. I hope you have your permanent voters card and you're ready to exercise your franchise on Saturday. If you're one of those who have your voters card already, please make sure you make yourself available at your polling unit on Saturday and follow law and order while exercising your franchise. And also be alert. Make sure that you don't just vote and go away. Vote, stay there, and make sure you secure your vote. Security of votes is even much more important than the voting process itself. Okay, so thank you so much for joining us on this episode, and please make sure you stay because we have Ubidati updates coming up next. So please stay with us. Thank you.
Labour Party, Labour Party, Labour Party, Labour Party, LP, can you get a vote? Labour Party, Labour Party, LP, can you get a vote? Labour Party. Never say, Mama, Papa, no one to be Labour Party. Mama, Papa, no one. Never say, Mama, Papa, no one to be Labour Party. Mama, Papa, no one to be Labour Party.